we'll put this again. So even in talking about these, this is very different. You'll know when you go back, each planet has its own unique frequency, its own energy. We can talk very specifically about some planets and in detail about some. And here's Neptune floating there like this puzzle, and we're still not sure how it all can fit together, but it's there. You can't see it, but you can sense its presence. And you can wonder about it. But as you meet people that activate these things, it can accumulate where you get more aligned to sensing it than not. These are outer planets. Don't expect too much from them. You get a glimpse and you may not be able to hold on to it already, but sometimes you'll see an insight into the whole complex. Anyone with a codependency issue, it can come from other things, but often Neptune is involved in the addictions, codependencies, excesses. Jupiter is too, but you can begin to see this. You can't just give it a name. You can see all these layers, these structures of implications of how this builds up. And at the same time, each of these layers is in a way you might be able to do something to counter that dependency by working in a self-reliant way for each category. And it loosens it up. By aligning with good people, but if you align with bad people, you're going to get caught up with bad results. And it may take years, so you may never think you can organize. If you've done something bad, you may believe you could never fix it. So why should you bother being good? Of course, if you're too good, then you never want to be bad. And nobody's all good or bad. We're all like, a murderer isn't murdering every minute of every day. A saint isn't saving people every minute of every day, and may have a few idiosyncrasies of their own that aren't exactly saintly. So these puzzles, it's just Neptune's like the dream, the vision, wow, the romance, the adventure, and the haunting. Neptune dissolves, and it dissolves the crystallized ego. Why does it do it? So that we can be humbler and open up to a more gracious relationship to God, to life, to mystical things. But it's a humble thing. It's not it can be the rapture. It can be the vision. But usually you can't be receptive to it unless you're humbly and you have this slate clear of guilts, entanglements. You got the pollution out of the Neptune. But its purpose is to confuse you about the outer so that you learn to let go and come to believe in your own inner self, in your own inner being, in the light within. So it has a spiritual process. Uranus has a process of shaking up anything you're too crystallized on so that you can begin to start to move towards these inner things. Neptune really dissolves things that aren't spiritual and opens up the more inner caring spiritual elements. If you can hear it, but it's not a direct voice. It's an insidious inner quality that presents itself, we run into, and it's part of us, and we don't always know how to direct it. We can't always control it. We have to build up other things to not make it worse, to not increase the guilt or the sorrow. Like in the I Ching, you throw a question, you throw a coin, so you ask a question, you get an answer. Every message within the I Ching is based on one factor: not increasing guilt, no blame. If there's no blame, it doesn't take any of your mind being pulled back into the past and allows you to be here now more graciously. So that's the puzzle of Neptune. That's about all I'm going to do today for Neptune. But when you get to Pluto, which is next week, Pluto is the harsh truth of things. It's the Auditor General. It's not what you believe in, what's really true. Where are you? What's true, what's not? It's a much more harsher confrontational planet. So when we're seeing our personal experience, it's a very simple thing. We can run into these visions, these fears, these shocks, all in our unique little ways. We're just talking about it in our little way. When you start seeing how it's connected to these deeper things, it's like saying, oh, that's just a doorway into this complex. And at least you're able to make that association between here's each category and here's how it's connected in my life. That's a solid foundation. You do this for yourself, and when you need to, you'll be able to do it for someone else. But rarely will you do every factor in everyone's chart for someone else. It takes too long. But you can learn to do it faster and quicker. Whenever you think of planet, you go through these, and you're looking to see whether it's being confirmed or negated or complicated. So anyways, next week's Pluto, and it's the Christmas time and the Christmas spirit. Bah, humbug. There's Pluto. A lot of people who have nothing. So, but this truth and consequences, that's Pluto. So see where you are, and we'll pick it up next week. Thanks, and that's it for tonight. Okay.